Hi friends, Flavio here. It is such an honor to talk to you once again, and today we're talking about Life Mastery Academy Live and what it is that happens in that room that actually helps people transform their lives. The reason why it's so effective is because we combine a bunch of modalities and techniques all into one event. For one thing, it's a lot of fun because we use lots of music and so forth, to change that internal state and that mood, and we use movement and dancing to get the blood going, as I say. And we also use very deep hypnosis and meditations to access the deepest portions of the unconscious. And then we actually deliver content, we actually deliver information. We do the sharing exercises where people explore ideas further, and we do the group talking and interventions, which actually are, heavy-duty therapy with perhaps one person, but everybody else is benefiting from that as well because we're all participating together. The energy is in the room, and it actually helps everybody. So the areas of life that we address at LMA Live are the areas of health, the area of finances, money, wealth, the area of vocation, what I mean, my mission in life, what I'm here to do, our relationships, and of course, some degree of spirituality and our relationship to the beyond. Whichever human being has some degree of relationship with the beyond, with whether it's God or the cosmic or whatever, however you represent that to yourself. So these areas of life are the areas of life that I spent 22 years here talking to people individually. People suffer because of issues and problems and misunderstandings and trauma in one of those areas. So there might be a few exceptions, but in general, those 5 areas cover everything. So in this one event, we address each one of these areas from a very interesting point of view. We address these points from the perspective of the purpose for that aspect of our life, primarily from the philosophical and mystical point of view, and how to see it differently so that we can have an easier time with it and actually achieve the transformation that we're looking for. So there are a couple of things to keep in mind. During the segment of the experience where we are actually delivering information, something really powerful is happening there because we're all in a state of awareness that allows our mind to soak up the information. It's different from just going to a seminar or a class or a lecture, which I do as well, 3 times a week, but it's a very different experience. So here you're in a state of mind because of the meditations, the hypnosis, the music. We're in a state of mind where we're actually receptive to that information in such a way that we can act on it. You see, it actually changes us. And this is really important. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The second thing to keep in mind, and this is part of my personal philosophy in life and in healing, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I haven't really seen that the alternative to what I'm about to say, I haven't really seen that to be true. So some people actually think that they're going to have an experience and somehow magically all of their problems are over. I actually met a person once who every time she would read a book or every time she would listen to a speaker talk or something, she would say, okay, now I got everything. Now I had a transformation. Now I figured it all out, and that would happen periodically. And it was almost risible. It was almost funny because it's so immature. There is no such there is no one truth that changes everything for us. It's a continuous evolutionary process. And so I talk about, evolving, changing, getting better, becoming better. It's a continuous process. We're probably not going to be done and perfecting ourselves for a long time. But as we attend these events and as we work on ourselves, we get a little better every day. Now, here's what happens. When a person goes to the gym, for instance, here's my question. Let's suppose that a person went to the gym for 5 years and they put on 30 pounds of muscle, right? I'm just making up these numbers. I don't know how many, but let's just say that that's what happened. The question is, what day was it that they put the muscle on? And if I told you that the person spends one whole day, pumping iron in the gym, do they put on more muscle that day? You see, what day was it? What really happened there, so if you see the person one day, then 5 years later, and they have 30 pounds of muscle more, what really happened there? It was the continuous process of doing the right thing every day that leads to the transformation. Life is like that. You see, it's like going to the gym. We begin to polish our habits, we begin to polish our words, we begin to polish the way we speak, the way we act, we begin to make improvements, improvements, improvements. And there are quantum leaps. There are days in which we release trauma, and then that day it appears that we grew a whole lot. But those big days are preceded by many days of frustration. So if you were to draw a graph of our evolution, right, and suppose that we're evolving and getting better, going up here, right, and then we have a period of stagnation, and sometimes we even go down a little bit. We feel horrible. We're not functioning well. And then you have a huge breakthrough, and you're up here, and then you continue evolving. Check out that curve the way I drew it. You could have drawn a straight line over here. So that crisis over here was just a blip in the whole process. It was just a little glitch. You see, it was just like a little crisis. But when the person stagnates, has a little crisis, then has a breakthrough, from their short-term perspective, it seems that that day they had a huge leap. It wasn't a huge leap. Draw the graph overall, and you're going to see that it's a continuous ascension. We evolve continuously. We learn continuously. Every day we're learning and growing. We're just not paying attention to the fact that we're growing every day. We're changing every day. So what I'm saying to you is this. Some people, because of their nature, they're very impulsive and they like very intense experiences. They end up getting themselves into very frequent crises and very frequent breakthroughs. In other words, they get themselves into a huge hole, and then they come up with a huge breakthrough and a huge resolution, and then it gives them the impression, oh, I grew this much. Yeah, but you just went down this much, you grew this much, so we're not much better off here. That's one alternative, and that's one way to do it. I haven't really seen that, and I know several people like that, and I haven't really seen them changing considerably over time. Because the cost of getting into a crisis and out of the crisis, even though it gives them the adrenaline rush of believing that they evolved a whole lot because of the breakthrough, the net result is actually very flat. It's not very positive because the crisis cost too much. It costs in terms of relationships, it costs in terms of health, sleep, productivity. It costs too much. So they're not really better off. But they had the rush of the breakthrough. They're addicted to the rush of the breakthrough, so they procure the crisis in order to have the rush of the breakthrough. Well, it's one way to proceed. We function a little bit differently here. We believe in a more steady sort of progress. And what I have seen here, for the people who adopt this attitude that, it's a continuous process and we're going to continue growing together, I've seen them over the years. I've been doing this for 22 years. I've been teaching for 30 years. I have seen that overall, including my own life, they end up doing better over the years. They last for the long run. They're in this for the long haul. They're not in here for a couple of experiences. They're in this for the long haul. And overall, they last longer and they do better and they evolve more. So the proposition of Life Master Academy isn't one of necessarily huge breakthroughs all the time and that's all you need and now you're all done. It's one of, let's continue to grow and evolve together, except that instead of doing that through 2-3 times a week type therapy individually, we can condense all of that into certain events that are arranged in a certain way that produces, that kind of advance and that kind of progress in a much more effective way. So it has been working out really well. A lot of people are really liking what we're doing, and I wanted to share these ideas with you because you actually can participate in the next event. I'm going to be publishing the date and the location for the next event soon. We already have the location picked. So if you're interested in attending Life Master Academy, leave me a note below and I'll be sure to communicate with you and let you know when the next event is. It's going to be coming up very, very soon. Thank you. There is magic in life, and we are just getting started. Thank you.